Good morning from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's the 30th of June, 10:26 a.m. Sunday. It's a glorious morning here at Sacred Space. Charlie is giving me less of a fright. She's a lot more active, and whatever was upsetting her tummy seems to have eased. I gave her some slippery elm and honey mixed with water to sort of try and stem the bleeding that was coming out of her. It was quite frightening actually. But look, she seems better, and she just walked in from the garden when I went to make my cup of tea, up the steps and followed in behind me. So she's wanting mama tea time and company and companionship. And so I've decided she can't be too ill if she can walk all that distance and be so intrepid. But then it's hard to tell with birds and animals. They're much more powerful little spirits than we give them credit for, and they can fake being healthy for quite a long time too. I guess some humans are good at that too. On the subject of faking being healthy, babies, Mama T, aka the Tanya, went dancing for a second night last night, which I haven't done in a long time, and I was powerful, I was wild, I was in my own zone. It was quite wonderful actually, and I'm glad I went 2 nights. I'm not feeling too shattered today, which normally after 2 nights I'm pretty much a complete wreck. And I woke up this morning I went to bed by the time I got home and had something to eat, and I went to bed at, I think it was around about 1 a.m. and I woke up at 8 a.m. So 7 hours sleep after 2 wild nights of dancing, and I only had just over 5 hours sleep the previous night. So Mama T seems to be cooking on gas, and watch out when she cooks on gas, by the way. It's an amazing souffle or flambe or some fricasseed delightful dessert, but as you know, with souffles, just one little punch will be enough to knock it all down. The house of fucking cards, am I right? So I don't dare get too excited or positive about things, because it might just be a transitional period or yet another phase I'm going through. But anyway, I promised my doctor, my psychiatrist, that I would do everything in my power to get fitter and stronger. So extra dancing is in order, but it's hard. It's hard to put myself out there in the world. There was one lout that decided, I mean, he was just a boisterous lad really, but there was one lout that decided to grab me and try and get a little bit too fucking full on, and so of course I went into full-blown berserker mode. I had to rein it in a bit, because I don't want to damage my reputation going to a new venue, by the way, for the love of all the gods, number one. Number two, I don't want to upset or let down my friends in the band, who I love dearly. And number three, the guy was burly, and I wouldn't have been able to fend him the fuck off anyway. But the security guard was lovely and came to my rescue, and I said, look, he's just playing, he's just getting a bit out of hand, but he's allowed to play. But I said, so we were dancing to the song by the Angels, No Way, Get Fuck Off, so he got a bit amped up. But I'm sure he was just getting amped up because he was being playful and in sync with the song. So I let it pass. I have a 3-strike rule anyway with most humanoids. I like to be fair. We all get a bit overly excited at times. And so I said to the security guard, he's just playing for now, but keep an eye on him, because if he does it again, he'll have to go. Māori security guard nodded to me and I nodded back, and I kept dancing, and the boisterous motherfucker kept bouncing around me for a while, but eventually, I don't know what happened. Maybe they kicked him out in the end, or maybe he left of his own volition. But anyway, that was only one small fly in the ointment. Apart from that, had a wonderful fly. Yeah, there's always a feckin' fly, isn't there? But anyway, I had a wonderful time, and yeah, I'm glad I went out, and the guys in the band, I think, got a bit of a surprise when I turned up, because I don't normally dance 2 nights in a row, and if I do, it's not usually for the same band. But I love those guys, and you know, I feel comfortable and safe dancing for them. And you know, you can't do everything about the clientele in a venue. But I tell you what, the manager spoke to me, the bar manager spoke to me at the end of the night. A lovely woman, very friendly, lovely woman, and we were chatting, and she said, oh, you know, we really like this band and we hope to draw in some more clientele. I said, the more clientele, the more money coming in through the doors, and it's good. It builds a nice culture in the area when there's good bands. And she agreed, you know. So I said to her, I've been dancing for this band for 14 years. She went, oh, really? And then she mentioned Ramjet, and I said, I've been dancing for that band for 14 years too. I said, they're both excellent bands and I really enjoy them, and I've supported them with my crazy dancing a long time. Not just to support them, but just to be out in the scene, living my best life and healing my mind, body and spirit, and keeping my physical corpus alive and innovated. And music is such a good way to get your exercise while at the same time wresting enjoyment out of life. Am I right? So yes, a wonderful night has been had, and oh my gosh, it's such a beautiful day. It's such a glorious, glorious day. Well, there you go. So yes, I feel like I'm on the cusp of some new, I don't know what, some new development in my life. I don't even dare to get my hopes up. Some nice enough Yorkshireman came to chat to me at the bar, but he was with his mate, and he was weird. Though it wasn't weird. I was the weird one. Told him some of my most outrageous stories about a childhood friend who was a Yorkshireman, and how he taught me to drive, and various other little anecdotes. He was quite delighted by that, but then he just zoned out. Oh well, I'm not bothered. I'm not there to make friends and influence people. She says, laughing. Well, I kind of am. You know, when you're out in public, you always hope to make a good impression, don't you? But at the end of the day, I also have to be true to my own soul and my own self, and I'm not there for hookups. I think that's when he zoned up, when he realised I'm not there for the hooking up. And also, you know, his mate was Scottish, and the English and the Scots, they just like to go out and chat to everyone. You know, the pub scene in British culture is vastly different to Australian culture. It's just more about, you know, having a chat, or in an island having the crack and having a few drinks, and whatever happens before or after or during that is whatever happens, babies. Anyway, what do I know? I've never even fucking been there as an adult woman. So I know nothing. I know nothing, and I'm going to stick to that. Absolutely stick to that. I had to wash my hair again. I danced so wildly, and then I sweated because I was wearing my top hat, and I sweated so much my hair was wet at the end of the night. Oh God, I looked a wreck. I thought, oh, I'll never get laid at this at this pace, because I just don't care. I'm just living my best life, and you know, just dancing my dance and getting all sweaty and depleted from the frenetic exercise, sometimes reaching catharsis, and then I go home. Oh, smallest violin. But on the other hand, you know, I'm happy, so it's all good. It's all good. And what's going on here? I'm all hooked up. I haven't brushed my hair. As you can see, I washed it, but it's all a bit doing the wild thing on top of my head, being witchy and wild. So anyway, we carry on with today's readings of Even Date. I haven't done a preview this morning, so I'm probably going to get just as big a surprise as you, or I might just be flaming bored by my own rambling. Sometimes it's like that, isn't it? So I won't even bother writing that down for. What was I talking about yesterday in a video? How weak I was feeling and diarrhea or some shit. Well, I can't believe not only that you wrote that, but you read it out loud on YouTube. Have you no dignity, Tanya? Have you no couth? Have you no grace? But I'm also bound to this earthy body on this planet in this 3D reality. Just, it is what it is. Right, where's my birdie? I'm just going to have a look, check where she is. Where are you, Charlie? 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 Are you in the guava tree? I see you now. Okay, I don't need to worry, she's in the guava tree. But, you know, man, for some little creature that doesn't fly and so has to walk everywhere on her two little birdie feet, she gets a long distance. Like, when she's active, she's very, very active. The guava tree is over there. It's like about 10 metres from here. So, oh, you go, girlfriend. You go. Intrepid little bird inspires me every day to also be an intrepid old bird. Oh dear goddess. I'm a little bit tiny bit irked, actually, to be honest. It's just a little thing, it's just a crazy little thing that irked me. But my handsome, talented, gorgeous friend at the end of the night said, I'll see you later, guys, talking to all three of them. And he said, see you soon, Tan. I hate fucking being called Tan. Well, I'm going to have to say something about that to him, aren't I? Because if it continues, it will irritate me. But anyway, it's just it's amazing how one niggling little thing can set my teeth on edge. A man who's been wonderful to me and, you know, supported me in my wild dance for years. So, you know what? I'll just have to, I'll have to let it go. I'll have to let it go. George the busker used to call me Tan or Tanya too. Fuck, I hate that. It's like fingers down a chalkboard. Like, my name is Tanya, and it's not that difficult. Anyway, we're all tired at the end of the night and at the end of the day. It's like, what the fuck? Why did I even get annoyed about that? I must have been at my wit's end from dancing for 2 nights. I didn't say anything to him. I just nodded and left politely because, yeah, my friend Pedro years ago, well, he was actually, he was a friend to me, let's be fair. He was mad as a meat axe, but he was very sweet to me. He was Serbian background, so he understood my Slavic fucking Polish background, I guess, and my wild ways and my traumas. But anyway, he used to call me Tanya, but he'd do it to piss me off, and he'd go, Tanya, and I'd be like, so every time he called me Tanya, his real name was I'm going to roll the tongue. Predrag. Predrag. So every time, he hated being called Predrag, that's why he called himself Pedro. And every time he'd call me Tanya, I'd go Predrag. And if he kept going, I'd call him Pissrag, and he'd be like, this was a man who was a giant, 7 foot tall, bikey, former associate of the Gypsy Jokers, who was quite dangerous back in the day, or could have been very dangerous, but he just loved me. I only had to go like, and he'd like, behave, Predrag. The only time I wouldn't engage with him or confront him was when he was off his nut from, drinking bouts where he was in blackout, or when he was on some fucking substance. Then I would just be like, hi Pedro, hi Tanya. I mean Tanya, he'd say. Oh, he would stir me up with that. But anyway, I'd just like nod and walk away. Or there were other times where his eyes would literally be swirling and I'd be like, I'm not even going to say a word. Sometimes the best thing is silence. And I'd just look at Gail, and Gail would look at me. And Gail, in her professional capacity as a forensic psych nurse, would say, we're not engaging with him, we're leaving right now. And we would have just arrived to go and visit him, and we would just scarper out of there. Sometimes he wouldn't even come to the door, he'd be so out of his fucking mind, which was a bit of a worry, but self-induced psychosis from drug taking is not our monkey and not our circus. Am I right? So we would just leave and, go out without him. But I liked going out with Pedro, actually. I don't know why I'm talking so much about him in the last few days. Have you noticed that? I haven't thought about Pedro much for fucking 10 years, or since I broke up my friendship with Gail. So what's that? February 2015. So 9 years. Hardly blipped on my radar, and lately I'm talking about him. I hope he's okay. Sometimes when I ruminate or obsess over, old former acquaintances or friends, I get very fucking bad news after. Well, he was he was younger than Gail, much younger. I was about 10 years younger than Gail. I think he was about 5 years younger than me. So what does that put him at? 54? Oh, he's probably drugged and drunk himself to death by now. Either that or he's completely pickled and will be forever preserved for eternity and probably live to his 90s. That's been known to happen with alcoholics too. But anyway, I got into that segue because I was remembering how he was the only one back in the day that I gave permission to call me Tanya, because he was locked off and he couldn't fucking remember how to pronounce my name right, which is weird because in Serbia, trust me, they would not be calling me Tanya. In Slavic countries, my name is Tanya. Tanya. Anyway, what's in a name anyway? It's all irrelevant. It's just a label we're gifted by our parents, and for fuck's sake, my father couldn't even spell it right on my birth certificate. He taught me to spell it with a Y, and officially it was with an I. And then when I entered university at 17, I was so livid, I had to change it by default. Who misspells their daughter's name? Oh my God. So yeah, what's in a name? It can be a source of much irritation. That's all I have to say about that. Anyway, you have to laugh. So we'll carry on with today's readings of Even Day, and I'll get over my ego-centered, hypermanic driven kind of, well, I'm not really hypomanic. I was smoking on, not smoking literally, but I was high as a kite about a week and a half ago. I even made an Instagram video while I was in that state, which I laughed my ass off because I gave my psychiatrist permission to look at my Instagram. And it's kind of skating on a very thin line of being a boundary violation, but it's not, because I gave him permission. Because I said, I want you to see, you know, the jewellery I make and the earrings I make and the pendants I make and my progress, so you can see what your mental patient's doing with her meagre resources and her time when she's not sitting on your couch telling you how fucked her life is and how fucked our society is and how fucked everything is, and have you agreeing with me because he can see it too. And I want you to see what the progression of me healing and coming back into balance and full health again. And he's so proud of me, you know, he really is proud of me. And to be honest, because he's proud of me and my beautiful friends are proud of me, I've begun to be proud of myself too. Although, you know, I still have my unusual ways of coping, I guess, and my occasional acting out. So after the wild boy was bouncing around me last night in the dance and went to grab me, and I, you know, resolved it by telling the security guard that he's fine for now, but if he does it again he has to go. I went out and smoked another cigar. So I've had 3 cigars this week. I don't normally smoke, people. Smoking's very, very dangerous for my lungs. But I tell you what, I had that cigar and I'm sure it was part libation. Can you call a cigar a libation? An offering to the voodoo god Papa Legba. And I was like, right, Papa Legba, Mama T's in full, you know, expansive, out there flight. I need your protection. So I'm puffing on this cigar, and you know, it sounds weird, but I swear to all the gods, I think he stepped in, joined me in my dance and made sure that I was even more in my own power and even more, and I just built up and built up and built up, and it was quite wonderful. And I'm lucky that I was welcomed and accepted in that kind of state, because it does look a bit frightening to the uninitiated non-shamanic peoples, because it's how I recalibrate my meridians and my psyche and my body, as I realised over many years of dying briefly or coming very close to death that I have to be in constant communion with my gods and the angels and the fae, and not so much humans. I don't like other humans very much. Well, I've got a history of lots of good reasons to not like the humans. But however, all that aside, I am one, and I'm desiring of my own special human partnership at this late stage of life, and even that's ridiculous. I was thinking about it during my dance. I was like, you're such a dickhead, Tanya. Like, what are you trying to prove anyway? No one gives a fuck about you. You're wasting your life and your time. You could be at home making jewellery. And then I thought, yeah, well, I could be at home making jewellery, watching my YouTube videos, TV, but I'd be alone constantly. And it's good for me to be out in the night. So I was constantly balancing in my mind that having to remind myself that it's okay, it's perfectly acceptable to be a human with human desires and the need for human connection, and to be in love with other humans at times. And I even feel uncomfortable saying that. Did you see how my eyes went everywhere and I tried to avoid the subject? But it's okay to be in a loving state and experience real love. And this enormous butterfly, like that big, just flew past. That's confirmation from the void, from the multiverses. It is okay to love, Tanya, and even more magical and mysterious, it's equally okay to be loved in return by someone who's healthy and kind and nurturing, supportive and protective and loyal and faithful to me. I've got chills, they're multiplying. That's the longing driven in my spirit, that longing for that true love, intimacy and connection. It's almost becoming like almost like a drug, and so I'm having to be very cautious of that, because in previous partnerships from 10 years ago, I had 10 years and 15 years prior to that, and 23 years ago, 24 years ago, I had a tendency when I was younger to have love addictions, which were not good, people. They were not good. They were very damaging. Well, they wouldn't have been damaging if they'd been with decent, honouring, loving men, but so I had a tendency to fall in love with psychopaths and then get addicted somehow by their sadistic, evil games and dynamics, and it was life-threatening actually. Came very close to dying a few times at their hands, or with the last one 10 years ago. He didn't lay his hands on me physically to kill me, but he did everything he possibly could to undermine and kill my reputation in the music scene. And frankly, I don't need a fucking lover or friend or male of any stripes to undermine me. I do it for myself by losing my temper with drunk men trying to grab me. I don't need anyone to make me look like some kind of idiot or fool or aggressor or crazy woman. I do that all for myself, but I wasn't being an aggressor, by the way. I'm never the initiator. I'm just there to dance. So I get pissed off when they start getting handsy or aggressive with me. And fair fucking play to that too, by the way. The bar manager said, oh, when the men get out of hand, we kick them out straight away. She said, we can't have that. And I'm thinking, all right, okay. I said, that's good to hear. I said, I've got very low tolerance for dickheads. And we both nodded and smiled and agreed. Oh, she was a very nice woman. Actually went to kiss me on the cheek. A very warm, friendly woman. Was very sweet to me. I mean, all I am is just someone who comes to dance. I'm nobody important, you know. But I told her, she said, oh, we really like this band. And I said, look, quite frankly, they're a very, very excellent band, as are Ramjet. She said, yes, Ramjet have been playing here for 18 months. I wonder what took them so long to invite, you know, alter egos to come to play for them. Why there was such a long delay. It's a bit odd. But I said, look, this is an excellent band. I said, and on top of it, they're very, very good men. Like they're good, kind men. So I could see she was very impressed. Well, I don't speak lightly of people like that. They have to have proven their goodness to me over quite a long period of time, as they all have, those two bands. So I have no problem, you know, encouraging while encouraging their business. They don't need me to do that, of course, but the subject came up, so I promoted as I cross-promote all my friends and family with their little, ventures, their little businesses or their talents or whatever it is. The whole point of life is to build each other up and create a space where we can all thrive in our own specific talents. And I just wish the fuck I could get my little silversmithing venture up and running so that I can earn my own money and be financially independent and not be at the vicissitudes of fate quite as much as I have been for the last 59 years. And also being financially independent would mean I would never have to worry about being in an imbalanced, unequal dynamic, financial or otherwise, with a man, am I right? Because that was a lot of the problems in the past, men thinking because I was poor and impoverished or a single mother at the time, or for the last many years on the pension, that they were better than me, or disdained and treated me with contempt like Dave did because I'm poor, and it was just fucking degrading and awful. But you know what? My blood boils still to think about it, but it's just proof that they weren't the men for me. Because a man who loves you doesn't try and humiliate or debase you because of your unfair, undeserved circumstances. A man who loves you no matter what, and is happy and delighted and grateful to have you in his life, and if necessary supports you financially, but that's not what I actually want. I don't actually want to as I said, be in that master-slave type dynamic. It'd be horrible, absolutely horrible for me. It wouldn't work because I'd act out. It'd be like, no, I need to be an equal or nothing. Anyway, I don't know why I'm raving on about that, because I don't even have anybody really in my life in reality. I'm on my own, and it probably will be for the rest of my life, and I have to remind myself to not get too adventurous and too hopeful. I'm going to need to run a brush through my hair. See what happens when I don't brush my hair when it's wet? Feckin' frizz, people. Oh, for fuck's sake. But anyway. So where was I? Oh yeah, try and avoid one up, one down relationships. Try and avoid most other humans. At the same time flying in the face of them by going dancing and being brave and audacious and a little bit crazy at times. I really like this set I made. I really do. I'm looking at it in the sun. The crystals are glinting, and well, anyway, for a woman who wasn't loved and safe, kind, nurturing, protective, sweet, romantic, passionate, loyal, faithful ways, I'm doing okay on my own. I'm doing okay, and maybe that's what the gods want for me, is for me to just do okay and love my life, and whatever happens, happens at the appointed time, my beloved ones. So here we go. We're going to get into this. Are you ready? Deep breath. Today's readings are titled Murmurations, Fleeting and Whirling and Changing in All Four Directions. Yes, they are. I don't even know what year I wrote that title. Maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. But anyway, it's what she said still stands. Then I posted a meme by Oscar Wilde. Oh, isn't that weird how I was talking about being poor and living at the mercy of cruel, vapid men who were just weaponizing the imbalance of power, because they were sick motherfuckers, by the way. But here's looking at you, Dave, and not just Dave, but all the other lovers. All of them. It's just fucking gross, honestly. All they had to offer was they had good looks and a bit of charm. That's it. Apart from that, they were soulless motherfuckers. Where was I? And cowards, by the way. Absolutely cowardly men, which I despise cowardly men. You have to have a little bit of couth and a little bit of honour and a little bit of courage to take on the Tanya, by the way. I'm not created for cowardly, inept, weak, malicious, sadomasochistic or sadistic, Machiavellian, psychopathic, narcissistic types. I was not made for that, and the fact that the gods made me do that dance for fucking decades makes no sense at all, because that was not what I deserve out of life, and it was not of my actual choosing half the time. Actually, Dave was the only one I chose of my own volition. All the other relationships were manipulated either by my own fucking mother or former friends. Isn't that sick and evil? So by the time I met Dave, I thought, oh well, I'm going to choose my own lover of my own heart and soul and volition. No, I was so programmed to attract assholes, I invited another one into my body, mind and spirit. And concurrently, there was Marco at that time too. Oh, Marco, was he a piece of work? But anyway, I let all those little fishes swim downstream where they belong to wallow in their own rot. And what did Mama T do best? Kept dancing into the upriver, into the jaws of the bear. I'm going to have to go and get a sun hat because I'm going blind with the sun in my eyes. I'll be back one moment, my lovelies. Charlie? Charlie, where are you? Charlie? Come and get me, Mama? No? Okay. I tell you what, people of Earth, of all sentient beings at a sacred space here in Brisbane, Australia, my Charlie has the best life and the most optimum freedom, and she's got it all going on, babies. Stopped to get a Tim Tam on my way in, and I did brush my hair quickly while I was out there, but oh my goodness, I suppose you can't see my face now, but oh look, you can hear the dulcet tones of my New Zealand quasi-Australian accent, and the energy I'm putting out, and on we go and on we go. I'm probably going to get sunburnt too. Now I have to worry about getting sunburnt. Oh, it's winter sun, it'll do me the power of good. Says she who worries about being sliced and spliced by skin doctors. Well, if I was going to get burnt, it's already happened, so. Oh, that was good. It's not going to agree with me later, but it was good. I enjoyed that. Live your best life, people of Earth. Anyway, Oscar Wilde. Who, being loved, is poor? Yeah, babies. June 30th, 2023. I posted a photograph, a lovely photograph. I'm not sure if you can see it. Can you see it? No, can't see it, too much reflection. Of a lovely hyacinth from my garden, which I really love when the hyacinths and the jonquils, and on occasion when I plant tulips, come up. When I wasn't frenetically dancing my assets off, dancing like the red shoes to my own oblivion, by the way, I used to do a lot of gardening for many years. I haven't done as much in the last few years because it's physically been too hard on me to dig the garden and do any like real intense exercises and digging, but I channeled a lot of my primordial rage when my mother got granny dumped in the Alzheimer's ward in 2008, when her last husband, the con artist, fucking bastard, upped and died. Oh, hallelujah on that one. Oh, he was a bastard. But anyway, she got granny dumped by his con artist fucking kids, and I spent from 2008. I'd already been putting a lot of effort into this garden since I moved here in 2003 it was. So I'd already put a lot of work in, but from 2008 I was channeling all that like primordial, ancient, familial fucking trauma and rage, and I planted that beautiful black bamboo, and I planted all these beautiful trees, and I just poured everything into this garden. Now I get to reap the rewards of that, the fruits of my labour, literally, and enjoy my sacred space garden. Am I right? So yes, when the hyacinths come up, it's a delight. Here I posted a photo of a coin, a New Zealand proof sterling silver coin that I'd had. I think I bought it when one of my kids were babies, or very, very small. And I decided to cut out the background and with my jeweler's saw to practice sawing and to bring out the details and remove the background of the coin. It's a pity you can't see because it's quite lovely. You can see a progress shot there, but can't see it, so what's the point? Moving on, Tanya Aarons. Moving on, Tanya Aarons. The former Aronchik clan. Should change my name. Every now and then I think I'll change my name, but I can't. I'm so used to that name now. I've had it since I was 19. And what the fuck? As I said, what's in a name anyway? I tell you what, decades of bad fucking luck in my case, am I right? But then I was lucky in the other at the other extent, because I had two paid up homes. But that was my father-in-law's influence, because he loved me and was a good man. Without him, I would have had nothing, but probably wouldn't have even had children, to be honest. So those were the cards that were laid out for me, and everything comes down to the stories of your life and destiny, am I right? So anyway, yes, I haven't worn that pendant that I made of that kakapo coin. I should wear it more often. It's like, no point having things if you're not wearing them, am I right? Today's Mishigas, that means insanity. I finally am soaring through my coin I bought back in 1986. Oh, there you go. I couldn't remember what year. I've broken 4 saw blades already. It's not such a simple thing. But Mamati of Titania's realm will persist and gain mastery. Lol. Eventually. And I broke a lot of saw blades, but I learnt how to saw that thing by the end of it, and I took great joy and delight in it. Maybe if I turn the laptop this way, you'll be able to see it. It's hard to tell. No, all I see is my own reflection. That's the only trouble with making these videos outside, is we can't get proper views of the photographs on Vocal Media. 30th of June 2022, 1:11 a.m. Make a wish. Thank you, angels, for all you do for me personally and for our planet. I stand before you in humility and awe and grace. Daughter of the gods. Just wow. Murmurations, fleeting and whirling and changing in all 4 directions. Which end is up? Who will hold my hand at the end of my life? Who indeed? On which side of history will we land? Which indeed? I was listening to a podcast this morning about how AI is, they're still banging on about how it will just destroy us and take us over, and it's like, it's a very likely outcome. But honour thy ancient ancestors, thine ancient DNA, thine body autonomy, thine free will, and thine divine spirit gifted you literally and figuratively, physically, emotionally and mentally, sometimes financially, by the gods, and you, humans, may yet build a future for us all, for all of us and our children and grandchildren, and so on and so forth. However, my progeny is denied me. Just livid about that, but what can I do? On which side of history will we land? Flying, flowing, giving more than we had while seriously ill and depleted. But never truly defeated. The way of the warrior goddess. I'm under here somewhere. I just feel funny because I'm all in shadow and I feel like I'm, yeah. Anyway, I could resolve this by taking us inside and doing this at my desk like I normally do, but it's a lovely day. Let us rejoice in a lovely day, because how long are our days on earth? Each day, each breath, each moment should be celebrated, my darlings. Lunacy amidst the luminosity, outliving the daily atrocities, positivity plumping itself, then fading to grey. Never mind, there's always another phoenix rising. Ain't life grand? What did I just tell you when I segued? Yes, we will overcome all obstacles in our way, together or separately as individuals, but we will overcome. My beautiful, beautiful, courageous, brave fellow earthlings. I just had my chest x-ray at Greenslopes Private Hospital, Queensland X-ray. Lovely, friendly, kind staff, unlike those two other Southside hospitals. Oh, bejesus. Well, there you go. But having to wear a mask meant I coughed a lot, and when I walked out I nearly fainted, so I'm sitting down gathering breath before driving home. At least the sun is shining. It was raining this morning, with more rain expected, but the gods, my sweet, whimsical, weird, pardon me, capricious and sometimes vicious ones, are smiling upon me, gifting me extra light and strength. And yes, I'm seeing what looks like a sunburn there. It's a sunburn that might drive me inside, people of Earth. Light and strength, that is all that is needed to push through this current illness that has gone on for far too long. 30th of June 2020. Getting my hair done feels good. 11:11 p.m. My angels are gathering around me to protect my daughter. Thank you to the prayer circle. Please keep up the good vibrations. Kiss. 30th of June 2019. Trigger warning, medical interventions. Remember that was just post-surgery. It was day 5. So this is going to be dark and weird and medical discussion. So turn me off if you can't handle it, people. 6:16 p.m. Had to take the first endone since 6 p.m. yesterday. Pain with nausea, not relieved by 2 paracetamol. Jared is making us a lovely roast dinner, so I'm probably just hungry. I'm looking forward to dinner. I'm happy and grateful to have him with me for some support, as I was with Lynn on Friday. Smiley face. Watching Dark, Season 2, Episode 5. But Jesus, I'm going to have to get out of the sun. I can feel myself frying as we speak. Right, here we go. This is how it's going to have to be. It's not going to work, is it? Trying to do this while dragging all the cords simultaneously. We need the mouse. We need the mouse key. We need to get real, because if Mama gets skin cancer and gets tortured again, with all the best intentions and life-saving intentions in the world on the part of the skin doctor, but I get so distressed and I feel violated, and I don't like having chunks of my flesh sliced out, and I'm covered in scar tissue, and because of that I'll never be a supermodel. Oh, and who's going to love my ravaged body anyway? It's already ravaged beyond belief by the vicissitudes of time and false feckless evil men and skin cancer and anyway, yes, I can see I'm quite burnt. For the love of all the gods, it didn't feel like it was going to be that bloody bad out there. UV rays. Anyway, Mama T will have to slap on some aloe vera later on. Where was I? Oh yeah, watching Dark Season 2 Episode 5. Don't need the hat now, we're in the shade. That's one good thing. I don't like sun hats. I like my top hat. I don't like sun hats much. Just as well I put that on though, because it gave me a little bit of protection for the brief moment I was wearing it. Oh dear goddess. Once again, art perfectly reflecting my own life. Dark Season 2 Episode 5 must have been something that was mirroring my own life then. The wild lorikeets just arrived in the tree. Come to see Mama T. What you doing? You being a good birdie? Yes, of course you're being a good birdie. Even when you're bad, you're being a good birdie, am I right? He's looking at me like, they love me, those birds. It's probably because I talk to them and treat them like equals. It's amazing what happens when you treat everyone like an equal with kindness and respect and honour, including birds and animals. You should try it sometime. You'd be delighted and surprised how you're received by the multiverses and all manifestations. Helps to be a bit mad, doesn't it, darlings? Well, I am a shaman, and that is my walk. And I walk my walk and I talk my talk. So what you deem to be mad, I deem to be gnosis and sanity and beauty and delight and awe for life. L'chaim. Thank you, my beloved ancestors, who bring me messages of courage and clarity in my time of health crisis. I am humbled and grateful. Yes, I am. There was some very powerful things that happened with that surgery I was basically used, by the way, to confront that hospital and their malfeasance. It was a spiritual war, and I was used for that, but I undertook it quite willingly, because after that almost dying, I thought this was just so beyond awful, and how many other patients have actually died because of their abuse dynamics and not having the strength of spirit, the mana, the will to keep fighting on. It was an attack on so many different fronts, not just the fact that my body legitimately needed that gallbladder removed and legitimately was soaked in its own bile, and the shock of, that surgery sent me already into a, altered state, but it was just so awful. The preempting, the pre-admission, the build up to that event was beyond awful. The other little birdie is here now, twittering away and singing songs. Are you my baby? Are you my baby? That's how I talk to them. Imagine giving birth to a bird. That would be weird. I guess humans start out as ovum too, so it's not that weird. We look like a baby chicken when we were about 4 weeks in gestation. Oh, he's flown down now. He flew down and got swooped by a minor bird. He's come closer to Mama T though. See what happens when you talk to them? They become your friends. Come on, don't fight over Mama T. There's enough love for everyone. So delightful. Here I posted, I've got to find where my mouse went. I can't see it because of the iPhone. It was on my laptop. Right, where are we? Oh, maybe we'll be able to see the photos now. I'm in the shade. He waited for me to get out of the shower, worried for his mama tea, sweetest of hearts. My poor Beauregard, I was so unwell throughout most of his life. Oh dear goddess. He had a stressful existence, he really did. Trying to fucking cope with me. Where's this gone? What happened here? Just flipped out. Hang on a sec, we've got to remedy this. We've got to fix this somehow. Right, here we go. Here's a photo of my very handsome Beau. See if we can see him now. There he is. Oh, there he is. There's my boy. Oh, bless. Now I've got an ache in my stomach. Residual grief, people. There's my boy, my beautiful dog. Right, now what's happened? The mouse fell down and now it's done another flibbity gibbet, and oh, for the love of all the gods. Indomitable but weak. I posted a very smiley face. Various different shades of grey and green, and you can see I'm very fucking ill there, but fighting back as I do every day. I have showered, although I was so weak I feared fainting. Had to go through all this most of the time alone, by the way. So never ever take for granted when you have a loving husband, or if you're a male, a wife, or if you're gay, a husband, whatever, a loving partner who has your back and your front and is there with you in the Christian, what do they say in the Christian wedding ceremony? In sickness and in health. Never fucking abuse that or take it for granted, because having someone that loves you so much that they're willing to be there for you when you've had surgery and you're very weak and frail and a bit fucking berserk because you're in hyperdrive trying to keep yourself going. Those kinds of people that love you that much are the greatest blessing and gift a man or a woman or whatever fucking gender you are, I don't care, a human can ever have in this life. That level of support and genuine love and actual intimacy and care. Those are the times when it's most needed, by the way. Fair weather friends are only with you when you're riding high and living your best life and wild and free and triumphant and got your shit together. That's also lovely too, but it's when the chips are down and you're struggling that your real loves shine through, by the way. The rest is just superficiality and plastic, fantastic, glittering disco lights of... It's just not fucking real, is it? It's not real unless it's real, people of Earth. The real ones are there with you through thick and through thin. Now what's going on with my computer? Please don't throw me off, computer. Oh dear goddess, now it's yelling at me. Right, here we go. I have showered, although I was so weak I feared fainting in the shower, but the water was soothing to my fiery spirit, and it felt good to wash off the dreck. Dreck is a German or Yiddish word for filth, of my struggling to heal body and the filthy spiritual attachments as well, which I'm probably picked up quite a few in that filthy, ignominious fucking hospital, by the way. Now I'm out of the shower, dressed in new, fresh PJs, and mysteriously have a sore knee. The one that I smashed in a bad fall at Greenslopes shopping centre years ago. So it's probably nerve pain and my... Let's try and set this so it's between the keyboard. That's better. The one that I smashed in a bad fall at Greenslopes shopping, blah, 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 years ago, blah, blah, blah. So it's probably nerve pain, and my body is taking the path of least resistance. I will trust her. She has kept me alive for decades. Now I'm too hot. I need my fan. In worse circumstances, yes, this body of mine is a powerful piece of cosmic machinery. All our bodies are, people of Earth. Don't underestimate the power of your own body and your own mind and your own soul and spirit and even breath to heal you. My spirit is terrifyingly strong. No wonder other mortals are repulsed by me and or fear me. When you look into the abyss stares right back at you, babies. I have floundered in the valley of the shadows of death for so long. Even life is beginning to cede her grip on me. Sometimes I wish Lady Life would just let me go. But she has whispered sweet promises, probably false delusions in my capricious health crisis, that my life is going to be wonderful at last. She did too, and 5 years later, here we are. Life is wonderful, even though I'm still remaining alone. It's pretty fucking wonderful given what I know about life and other mortals. I'm amazed. Dickhead, I know what is in store for me. It is the next incarnation that might be better. But if I can bow out gracefully of this one, but every breath a new opportunity to aspire to my own greatness, not everyone's cup of tea, an acquired taste. Absolutely. Courage under fire, people of Earth. The last 4 years taught me that much. But I shall sup from the ambrosia of the gods again, and they shall not find me wanting. A curtsy, fade to black, but I do declare, this bitch is back. Verse 19. I'm not sure what chapter it is in the Torah, but here I posted direct quotes. I was channeling David Davidson, my former Israeli homeopath lover, who used to say to me, choose life, Tanya, choose life. This was before he tried to squeeze the life out of me, by the way, with his bare hands, a motherfucking hypocrite, son of a bitch, which is not why you know. Now you know why I had a curse on him and why he had to say that long goodbye when he transitioned in 2016, early June, I might remind you. Choose life. Don't fucking throttle me then, motherfucker. I was already struggling to hold to life even back then as a much younger woman with 2 small children I was trying to drag through to adulthood too. By the gods, it was arduous. But here I write this quote from the Torah. the 5 books of Moses, what the Christians call the Old Testament. This day I call upon the heaven and the earth as witnesses that I have warned you. I have set before you life and death, the blessing and the curse. You shall choose life so that you and your offspring will live. I would read it again in Hebrew, but I haven't read Hebrew in a long time, and I'll possibly struggle with the pronunciation. I don't want to make a fool of myself on YouTube. But, yes. Powerful words gifted by Yahweh, the Holy One. Verse 20. To love the Lord your God, to listen to his voice, and to cleave to him. By the way, in my worldview, God has no gender. For that is your life and the length of your days, to dwell on the land which the Lord swore to your forefathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, Yaakov, to give to them. And here I write with deep sadness that I still carry within my heart and soul. So I always wanted to travel not just to the Holy Land, but to all the sacred, mystical, mythical, amazing sites all around the world. I shall never see the Holy Land, but my feet touch sacred space, and my heart belongs to no man, woman, or child, but the one who created all that is, was, and ever shall be. I shall strive to survive long enough to see the divine feminine rise again and bring balance to this putrid, treacherous, spiteful world. Verily, Shekhinah, which is the divine feminine presence of God in Kabbalah, verily, Shekhinah was with me when I confronted that doctor and his entire team. I think she was indeed. It was a very, very powerful experience. Probably one of the most powerful and terrifying and humbling, but determined experiences of my entire life. Only the most broken and bloodless could merit that chutzpah and holiest of extra strength. Hello, Mr. Crow. Hello. I love you. Haven't got any chicken for you today, though. So you'll have to keep singing for your supper. I know I've let down the team, I know. You're a wild bird, you need to get your own food sometimes too. I've been spoiling him lately. He's putting on a song and a dance for me. The Tanya, not even allowed to have surgery without epic, horrific drama and cruelty from men and their handmaidens. But I was witnessed, and I was not silenced, and my actions shall set shockwaves of repercussions, so that that house, the Princess Alexandra Hospital pre-admission sadism, will be clean. Well, I hope that happened after I left that hellscape. I hope they cleaned up their fucking act, I really do. And if they haven't done that yet, I hope it happens soon. It's been 5 years, people. Clean your fucking house. Not needing endone at all today, so my body is healing itself. Now just need to overcome the weakness. It is day 5, post-op. Here I posted a meme about aspartame. It says, avoid aspartame. Aspartame, which is an artificial sugar they put in the colonoscopy prep, by the way, which used to nearly fucking kill me each time. Took me 2 months to recover from each colonoscopy, which is both designed to save my life and cut out the precancerous polyps. Like, yeah, I get that part. But it was so debilitating, and then on top of it, they were so abusive. Well, I'm going to ride free through this life without their interferences. It's a risk, a huge risk, but a choice I'm making. No bastard is going to proctolise me like that again, and abuse me in the process, and poison me in the process, by the way, and debilitate me, and then they wanted to do it every 6 months. No. Hell no, I won't go. Aspartame. Roaches and ants won't eat it. Cats and dogs won't eat it. Even houseflies won't eat it. But the FDA serves aspartame to you. Side effects include headaches, muscle spasms, irritability, heart palpitations, loss of taste, joint pain. Got a lot of that with that. Dizziness, weight gain, tachycardia, yes. Breathing difficulty, yes. Tinnitus, ringing in the ears, blurred vision, yes. Seizures. I have a history of hysterical conversions, which is a very mild seizure. Short-lived, fortunately. But I can't blame it on that because I haven't had one of those for a while. Rashes, yes. Insomnia, yes. Hearing loss. Depression, yes. Vertigo, yes. Nausea, yes. Blindness, not yet. Did go blind for 4 days on Cogentin though. Slurred speech, fatigue, memory loss, yes. Fatigue, yes. Numbness, yes. Headaches, muscle spasms and irritability, yes. That's just from aspartame, people of Earth, which they put huge quantities of it in the colonoscopy prep, and then wonder why I turn up in a fever with irritability, dizziness, weakness, writhing in my own fury, fatigued, struggling to breathe, and then they treated me so badly on top of it that I had to go to war yet again. Wow. Fortunately, the wonderful Māori security that they called security on me could see the injustice behind that. It's just awful. 2021. And in return for that abuse, they then threw out my patient file, by the way. And the evil, dirty cunts, here I write, put it in your colonoscopy prep. It was probably in my anaesthetic as well, although I hope not. Not sure if it goes into your anaesthetic. But yeah, scary fucking thought. 30th of June 2018. Cooking my fabulous chicken tagine and psyching up for another great night on the town. Crystal has my car, but will be back in time for dinner. Excited. I have that weird nerve pain in my left thigh again. Not sure what is causing that, but it is bearable, i.e. I can still walk on it, and hopefully I can still dance. I get my back molar extracted on the 9th of July, so hopefully all the weird jangly nerve pains will end after that. I feel a tad unwell, but nothing I can put my finger on, so it might be my mood disorder. Anyway, dancing and a few drinks will revivify the Tanya zombie creature. It gives me something to look forward to and recover from each week. Laura Keats are back. 30th of June 2017. Another busy day. Planted onion and spinach seeds, watered the garden, mopped the floors. Yay! Clean floors! Bit tired now, so watching a movie. Okja. 30th of June 2016. Might do that actually, watch some lovely movie later on. Oh, I feel good today. I feel so good today. I'm feeling so, I don't know what the word to describe it is, hopeful and joyful and vibrant and loved and seen and witnessed and heard, and just wish I had a beautiful man by my side to put his arms around me and just cuddle with me and love me and me love him back, and just have that beautiful intimacy and romantic, passionate, as I joke with a former, some guy that was trying to seduce me into an affair and then bailed on me, as I joke with him, cuddles lead to sex. It does most of the time. It doesn't have to, but that's usually what happens. But I would just love to be immersed in just this beautiful, loving, gracious, honouring, caring intimacy with a gorgeous man who adores me. I would really love that, but it has to be, I have to be 100%, 120% certain that their love is genuine and authentic and for me and heartfelt, and I don't want to be involved in any more fucking inter-island ferries or fake fucking men that just blow and go. Fuck that shit. You know, it's the reason why I've been celibate for so many years now. I just don't want to be used and abused by anyone like that ever again. And it means I have to metaphorically carve my own flesh and bleed out and choose to stay alone when it's not really what I've wanted at all, this being on my own. But it's the way it is, isn't it? I just have to accept it and be joyous with whatever small affections or kindnesses are shown to me. 30th of June 2016. At Carindale Shopping Centre. The noise in here is incredible. Just ate lunch, but feel like running away again. Oh well, it's been ages since I went to a shopping centre. That was in 2016, so I was avoiding them even back then. Well, my mood is a bit more stable, but I left the tap running in the kitchen sink and was obliviously sitting outside eating leftover semolina pudding, enjoying the sun, when I heard this great rushing of water and thought, by the gods, that fish pond is loud today. So I got up to check to discover Niagara Falls all over the kitchen floor. When will I learn? This must be the 20th time I have done this. Positive note, the kitchen floor has been cleaned. Well, I wrote cleansed actually. Not so positive note, fucking up chipboard shelves and right-hand cabinet from flooding. metaphor for my life. Go with the flow and watch it all wash away. Everything is temporary. Beautiful sunny day, but cold. I have showered my itchy skin, arg, and washed my lank hair, double, arg. So spit and polish for another few days. My kitchen looks like a bomb hit it, and I'm in the sun again, aren't I? Oh, it's okay. The shade's moving back to the table. Maybe we should move back over there. I'll just move my arm out of the sun, I think. Where was I? My kitchen looks like a bomb hit it as I had to empty out the cabinet with mixing bowls full to the brim of water. Lol. Shmeh, I'm going out. Not gonna sweat the small stuff today. It wasn't exactly small stuff, it was fucking intense, man. Flooding my own kitchen like an idiot. That beautiful lorikeet's just looking at me going, doing a little dance. Charlie, the birdies are here. She says, yes, Mummy, I'm avoiding them on purpose. Tonight I painted my mannequin arm in pond sealant, waterproof, one coat. Also finished varnishing the Dutch clogs. Need to renovate them again. I had to put Bobo to bed early as the stink from the chemicals is enough to make him sick or high. I'm watching, so meaning by that I had to remove him from the room. I was working on those chemicals is what I meant by that. I'm watching Fargo season 1. I felt very strange in the head today, so filled my script for Valium, but have not taken any yet. I didn't sleep well last night, so I guess the anxiety was caused by sleep deprivation. I cleaned all the filters and topped up the fish ponds late this afternoon too. I've been trying to keep busy. I still need to finish my stuff, and then the next project will be sanding back the dining table and decoupaging it, slowly getting the odd creative jobs completed around the house. 30th of June 2015. I posted a video on watch this woman get fitted for bras and get all different sizes of bejesus. And I wrote, I hate buying bras. Most arduous task ever. It is true that sizes vary according to brands and styles, and most corsetiers, which used to be a field of some expertise, now don't know shit. My daughter Crystal used to help me buy bras, as she could have been a corsetier. She was very good at it, actually. I'm terrible about buying. I often get the wrong size or something was wrong, like this one I'm wearing now constantly fucking digs into me. It's like, oh, did you hear it? So uncomfortable. I'm going to take it off later because it's just me here in the garden. Who the fuck am I trying to impress? I could let the titties run free, couldn't I? But why am I even bothering to get dressed nicely and make an effort for unseen and visible eyes that no one cares anyway? Except for maybe you, YouTube. I love you so much, I put on a bra. There was 2 years of my life which I refused to wear bras. It's off my head, of course, on psych meds. And I ran around with giant mammograms, swinging in the breeze, and I had broken front teeth, and I looked terrible, and I looked bogan and disenfranchised, and just could look into my eyes, and they were constantly swirling from all the psych meds. And do you know what? I didn't give a flying fuck. You could have let a bomb off next to me, and limbs could have gone flying in all directions, and I was so doped up with all the Seroquel and Abilify and all the other antidepressants, I would have just gone, Oh yeah, that's how shut down in my own core I was. So the fact that I dress up and put on lipstick and occasionally brush my hair and have my beads and my jewellery and a bra on, it's a sign that I'm doing better, people of heard. Much, much better. It's amazing what happens when you regain your own power and you learn to love yourself again and you allow good, kind people to love you and you can trust in that. It's amazing how the transformation happens right in front of your eyes, almost imperceptibly in the beginning. It's been an amazing metamorphosis this last 5 years, and by the gods, I am grateful. I'm grateful, even though I remain astonishingly tired, but we'll see how I go when I get the CPAP, how I blossom out again. What did you do that for, Mr. Crow? He just kicked down a broken branch in the frangipani tree, like literally kicked it down. Must have been some bugs that he wanted to eat or something. Anyway, here I write, my daughter could have been a corseteer. She just had an eye for a good fit, a handy skill. She has a large bust. Yes, she does, my little baby girl. 8:46 p.m. I slept all day, woke up at 8:30 p.m. when Lynn rang. I've just had dinner, reheated spaghetti and bolognese and a nice cup of tea. Ho-hum, back to rest I go. My chest is almost back to my version of normal, but that illness has left me exhausted. It was a long, hard grind, coughing and asthma for almost 5 weeks. Tried 2 years from 2020 to 2022, by the gods. No wonder I became so debilitated. I was having to hold onto the walls to navigate around my house and garden. That's how ill I was back in June 2022. I actually thought I was going to die, to be honest. I know, I'm always dying, but it was very, 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 very close and frightening. So yeah, I reckon it will take me a few more weeks to get my strength back. There we go, we're on the move, people. We're going back into the shade. Oh, that hurts. Oh, my coccyx hurts when I sit down for too long. Oh, that hurts. But anyway, we're up. We're happening in a far out way. We're here, it's happening, we're here. Shade. Whew. Right, here we go. Just got to recalibrate some of these cords that got caught around the table here. Oh dear goddess, what have I done? I don't know. Right, here we go. Now it's happening. Now we're happening, and I can put you back on the table and I can readjust my bits, and yes, here we go. That's much better. Still getting a bit of sun though. Maybe I'll move us up the table a bit. Mildly better. I'm burnt like a motherfucker, I can see that. Oh, that's not going to be good. Oh well, will you still love me when I'm a corpse bride? I hope not. I don't want to be loved as a corpse, darlings. I want to be wild and free and healthy and vigorous and live passionately and romantically and clean and clear, with harm to none and competition with none. I'll go on, psychedelic dreamer. Just go on with ya, for the love of all the gods. Right, where were we? 2015. Let's focus. There's some random shots of my pets. It's the Chinese Silkies and Harvey and little Mushu there. Little Mushi. Oh dear goddess. I need another cat. Life without a cat when you're a witch is just pure fucking utter misery. Also miss my dog. But anyway. 30th of June 2014. The little chick just died. I couldn't regulate his temperature and he wasn't eating or drinking by himself. So sad. He even had trouble in the egg. I just wanted to give him a chance. My friend Sally wrote, "Sorry, Tanya." And I replied, "Thanks, hun. I enjoy trying to beat the odds, but get distressed when Lady Death claws back my progeny. It was also a failure to thrive baby, so I like to give the underdogs a fighting chance, because ironically I myself was a failure to thrive baby. Can you tell?" Oh, you have to laugh. Charlie, are you coming back? Charlie? Are you being stalked by the crow? Come on, Charlie, come to Mama. I'm waiting. I'm always waiting. I'm always in the process of waiting. When I'm done waiting, look out, boys. She goes, "What's up, Mama?" Where was I? Oh yes, 30th of June 2013. I went out with Gail to the Elton John tribute band at Greenbank RSL. We had a nice time. I didn't drink more than one JD because I was driving and on antibiotics. So it was nice that Gail could have a few drinks and really enjoy herself dancing for a change. We got home early by 11:30 p.m. So they must have started the bands earlier in those days. It's like being fucking Cocoon, isn't it? Hate that when they start really, really early and finish really early. But I guess it means the musos get to have a bit of a life and go home to their wives and sweethearts and have a normal sex life and have some sense of normalcy. So it's probably not so bad, the earlier gigs after all. We got home early by 11:30 p.m, so I talked on Pal Talk till midnight, then went to bed early. Today is a mellow day with the cold and rain. Snuggle up with the heater, the dog, the cats, and a DVD later, methinks. Body slowly recovering, mind weak, but an infinite miracle of jumbles. Spirit wild, free and limitless, and wanting to howl and dance and play. And those of you that saw me last night and on Friday night got to see the Mama T howling. Weather crap, financial situation devastating and getting worse. Humour, ponderous, life goals to find true love and prosperity. Actual likelihood of previous comment, almost zero. Optimism, uniquely unrealistically hopeful in spite of actual real life quotients. Support from my friends, constantly devoted and amazing. Sum total of my life, I get by with a lot of help from my friends after always relying on the kindness of strangers and being a daydream believer and spiritual warrior and adventurer par excellence. So yes, there is that, my babies. There is that. Daydream believers. Wow. According to Aleister Crowley, love is the law, babies. And magic, real magic, calibrated by heart, mind, body, spirit and soul, truly does happen. And true love is indeed the highest form of magic of all, if it's reciprocated and authentic and heartfelt and soul nourishing and good and kind. It's the most wondrous thing. I want to sing, love is a many splendid thing, but I was brought up on all that romantic pap and faff and polygobbling and waffling, and I think it damaged me, set me unrealistic expectations with men, am I right? So we'll just stick to Nirvana. Come as you are, as a friend, as I hoped you would be. Hurry up, take your time, the choice is yours, something, something, something. Anyway, I fumbled the last of the lyrics, but you're feeling me, don't you, babies? You're feeling me. Hurry up, take your time, don't take too long. Mama T is a little bit feeling ready at long, long, long last. Oh my goodness, what would it be like to have a man actually really love me and make beautiful love to me in a soulful, heart-centered, beautiful way and mean it? I don't know. I really don't know. That's the problem. I've never really experienced it in real terms. None of the others were ever really loving me for me and being genuine. It's one of the biggest fucking tragedies of my life, people of Earth. But I have to let it go and remain in a high enough vibration that I can draw in the one who sees me and honours me and adores and values me as well. Yes, indeed, babies. Julie visited me this Arvo and brought me a natural super flu killer. I wrote offer juice, but I think I meant orange juice, with pineapple, garlic, lemon, ginger and cayenne pepper that she had made. It was yummy. I will have another drink of it tonight before bed. Only lucky thing is I'm not kissing anyone tonight. There's a lot of garlic in that brew, but it's guaranteed to clear the bug out of my system. Phew. Here I posted a article in 2013, by the way, by realpharmacy.com. The lead vaccine developer comes clean so she can sleep at night. Jesus. Don't ever say we weren't warned, by the way. Evil always has to show you their true intentions, sometimes 5, 10, 20, 50 years ahead of time. They always have to show you. Read 1984 or Brand New Day and you'll get my vibe, babies. We were warned over and over again. Did we pay attention? Nope. Most were too busy keeping their nose to the grindstone, providing for their families, didn't have time to think straight, never mind read articles on how we're being pre-programmed for our own lemming demise. Well, I will not go down silently into that darkest of nights, and I certainly won't ever, ever be a lemming. Ever. That's the only gift my fucked up, evil, perverted, sadistic, child, sexual abusing, predatorial family of origin ever gave me, was to never ever be docile or compliant in the face of tyranny. In response to that article, I wrote, both my daughters refused this vaccine. That was the, yes, I remember which one that was now. The one that was supposed to prevent human papillomavirus and actually killed many, many teenagers, young girls. It was just, I don't know what the fuck that was actually. And even though I tried to persuade them at the time, thinking it might be useful, thank God they didn't listen to me. I bought into that delusion. They held out. I am glad they did now, for fuck's sake. If we can't trust our health to even scientists with our best interests at heart, this I wrote in 2013. Shades of Dr. Mengele and other sickening evils. A huge thank you to Lynn, Annette and Annette B, who yesterday helped me with our garage sale and worked from the early hours in the morning to try to help me sell some stuff and make a little money. I didn't actually make any money, that was the tragedy, but they tried so hard to assist me to sell some of my and mother's chattels and my inheritance that I'd had to fight for, by the way. It's why I actually find it kind of deeply sickening but also amusing when people out in the music scene were so vicious to me for having a brand new car and new teeth and a bed. They had no idea what I went through to achieve that paltry few fucking materialist things. I must admit, it's nice to have nice teeth though. I used to look utterly dreadful, and people would treat me really badly because of it. It was just ghastly. Being poor sucks, people of earth. But, you know, sometimes it's unavoidable. Here I continue writing. Lynn, I know this Jewish banking system works well, but it's not meant to be a constant float. I love you anyway, you gorgeous woman. You. One day I will make it up to you. I never have been able to make it up to her. Poverty, people. But if my silversmithing ever takes off and I start making, you know, good enough money to be self-sustaining, I will make it up to her. Of that I'm determined. If only this opportunity arises, that $50 makes all the difference to boost my social life. You are such a wonderful, kind support to me. I feel like I'm being watched by the birds. And my true sister, you have seen me through so much shit in the past 25 years, and you never cease to hold my hand through all my trials and tribulations, and lately some spurious adventures. You rock. And Lynn wrote back, you've been there for me too, my dear, and I too am truly grateful. That's friendship cut and dried. It's a privilege to know the true meaning of the word and its existence in our lives. And I replied, yes, we are very blessed indeed, sweetheart. I am being watched. She's right above my head. Sweet little bird. You going to come and see Mama too? Charlie's ignoring me today, but you love Mama, don't you? Yes, when you're good to Mama. Mama's good to you. Wow, not too good. Let's calm our farms just a little bit, boys. Let's not get too carried away with the frottery. But when I'm good, I'm very, very good. When I'm bad, I'm dreadful. I love it. I love it a lot. 30th of June 2011. I spent the evening thinly slicing my kumquats for the marmalade I'll be making tomorrow, laughing my ass off at Lawrence Leung's UFO expose. And I also made a baked pasta dish, which was awesome. I have been craving chocolate and carbs. I'm getting hungry. All I've had for breakfast, which was naughty by the way, was 3 Tim Tams. Very naughty. It's not going to agree with me, all that chocolate either. Yesterday I ate 2 blocks of chocolate and loads of boiled potatoes. Today I finished off the spuds and had 2 massive bowls of pasta. What can I eat for lunch, people of Earth? I feel like it's something really nice. I'm really hungry. My tummy's even like rumbling away. My legs are still... Oh no, sorry, I skipped a paragraph. I slept until 1ish PM, then took a bus this arvo to Bunnings, which is a very large hardware store we have in Brisbane or in Australia. And I bought a cheap $10 garden arch so my rose doesn't collapse and die. It was easy to get there, but I had to wait a while for a bus back, but I'm getting the hang of the bus stuff. The only problem is I can't carry heavy potting mix on the bus. I will ask next time if they deliver. My legs are still very sore from the long walk 2 days ago, and I made sure I got off at the right bus stop, as it actually hurts to walk, laughing out loud. And thus concludes today's readings of Even Date, and I hope you gleaned something useful out of all of those readings and segues and my mental meanderings and my floating around in hyperspace, going nowhere on the disc jockey channel of life, but continuously speaking my truth and dancing my dance and perchancing my chances and loving those who love me back and enjoying life. Am I right? That's what life's for. Being enjoyed and cherished and adored. So on that note, bye for now, people of Earth. Have a beautiful day wherever you are in the space-time continuum, and speak to you tomorrow. Take good care.